Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another live hangout here at Voice Essentials, the fourth last one for the year. I don't know about you. I am feeling it as far as, the end of the year goes. I am starting to feel my energy levels just starting to kind of I'm the studio is like crazy busy. We continue to connect here as a part of the Voice Essentials community. All really positive things, but man, has it been a big end to the year. And I think it's going to take us all the way through to the end. Today, we're going to be looking at we're going to be doing a webinar. We're going to be looking at vocal stamina, vocal endurance. I think for many of us, it's going to be a really timely reminder of many of the things that we know to do, especially those of you who have been here as a part of the Voice Essentials community for some time. We speak regularly about these things, but we're just going to talk about it in the lead up to Christmas. I think it'll be a good topic for us to cover. We'll get to that in a moment. But before we do, I want to just make a note of the fact that the Secret Singer, the Voice Essentials Secret Singer, is currently taking place. I'm fairly confident it's not too late to participate. That is, if you jump onto the Facebook group, just search up Voice Essentials Community. For those of you who are not a part of the community, we'd love for you to join us. Every year for the last few years, we've done this Secret Singer. It's run by Kathy Schneider. I have already received my nomination, as in who I am choosing for, and I have chosen for that person. Ooh, who could it be? So that's already happened. I am now waiting for the choice of song for me to learn to sing and do. So for those of you who are not familiar with what it is, you put your hand up, say, yes, I want to be a part of it. And then Kathy, I'm not sure if she draws it out of a hat, but you get the point. She randomly chooses for you to choose a song without them knowing who you are or what have you, and you choose a song for them to learn and put up into the Facebook community group. And it's a lot of fun. And I look forward to it every year. And once again, big thanks to Kathy for running such an awesome event. Next week, we are going to be having Professor Brian will be joining us. We'll be talking through some really important things around pressure, vocal load pressure. That'll be a little bit of there'll be an essence of discussion around that today in the webinar, I think. But nonetheless, next week we're going to get deep dive into that. I think it may even be that Brian will be coming onto the show. Brian's a regular on the show. The same time every year he comes on. I think Brian might have a bit of what do they say? Like a bit of a burr in his craw. Like I think he's got something to really say around this topic. So anyway, join us next week. Then the week following that, we'll be doing our final dedicated Q&A show. Again, all you've got to do is subscribe to the channel, hit the white bell icon. You'll get notified automatically when we go live for the live shows, which are Mondays, 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And then the final show, which will be the final Monday of November, which I think currently we just call ADA, Ask Dr. Dan Anything. Linda will join me. Linda has been gathering some stats for us to all know about what's happened for the year. She's got I think she's been gathering some stats around the polls that we've taken. There is a poll currently running, which you can see on screen right now. 8 of you have already participated in that. What's your secret weapon for lasting through a long singing session? For those of you who are not watching the show live, you can't see what the results are, but those of you who are watching the show live, you can. there's one. I'm kind of pleased to see this. So the four options are power naps and lemon tree magic, deep breaths and calm mind. Number 3, belt it out till I drop. And number 4, hydration nation, water all day. There is one of those options which I'm pleased to see has no votes. So you can maybe guess as to which one that is given the topic. Yeah, so we've got not long to go for the year, and then we'll take 2 months off and just refresh. I'm going to need it this year. It's been a big year professionally for myself, but also personally. So professionally, I presented in Canada in August. So that was a big deal in the lead up to that and getting ready for that. But personally, of course, my daughter got married in late September. My youngest, Taran, she just finished her second last exam for her senior year of high school. So she's got one more on Wednesday, and then the school years are behind us as a family. So heading into a new chapter, and so that's good. But I think, in just talking about all of that, I think I can put a finger on why I'm feeling a little bit flagged. And I think I'm going to need a good break over Christmas. So we don't do the live show December, January, and we come back February. We will be back in February, and I hope you will be joining us. That will be awesome. So let's I think we get straight into, where am I? I'm wanting to make sure I pull up the right, there we go. That's what I want. I want this. So today we are going to be talking about building vocal stamina and endurance as we head into the Christmas season, which for those of us who are watching this show, in its current form, in its live form, it's weeks away, right? And for a lot of us, we're participating in festive season singing, whether it be at our church, in our local community groups. And so there's, for a lot of us, especially in the avocational world, there is a lot more singing going on. And so I thought it would just be timely for us to talk about how do we care for the voice, how do we carry the voice through this season. Again, many of the things that we're going to talk about right now are things that you have heard me talk about before, but I want to remind us, put them front of mind, so that you start to think through that all. Because I want you to sing longer, stronger, and safer. I want you to get to the other side of the festive season with a voice that is not only has it survived, but it has thrived. Before we go further, for those of you who may have not interacted with what I do regularly, what is vocal stamina? Well, it's the ability to sustain healthy vocal function over time. That's what we want to be able to do. It's not and should not be enough for you to just be able to sing one song, get to the end of it and feel like, okay, I survived that, my voice is okay. We want to build our stamina to endure for longer periods of time. Vocal endurance, slightly different, is the maintaining of vocal quality and efficiency through extended use. So where we think about vocal stamina as a singing in the moment, endurance is the ability to, so for example, stamina would be to sing one gig and be able to sing through that gig. Endurance, for the sake of our conversation today, we're going to be talking about it as then having to maybe do multiple gigs over the weekend, or maybe you're fronting up to sing, maybe you're going caroling with your community group. Well, I want your stamina to be able to cope with singing one night, but but I want you to then be able to back up and have the endurance to go multiple nights through the week and multiple weeks through the month. Why does this matter? Well, because when we avoid fatigue, strain, and injury, we're going to be able to improve our performance consistency. When our voice is fatigued and we have to continue to keep singing, we place the voice into a zone of risk. That risk can vary depending on the load that the voice is having to carry, but certainly the more tired your voice is, the more at risk it is to wear and tear. The longer the voice endures wear and tear, the more exposed it is to some falling into disrepair. And we, of course, want you to be able to avoid that. So let's talk about building strength without forcing power. First of all, and it's funny, over the last couple of days, last few days of teaching today and last week, I have spoken quite a bit with students about pressure, vocal pressure, subglottal pressure. This is the topic that I think we're going to spend a bit of time next week talking with Professor Brian Gill about, and because both he and I very much come at this from the same hymn sheet. It is about reducing your sense of push to stabilize your airflow, to have that really consistent phonatory threshold flow in order to reduce tension. If you have tension, that suggests that there is an overactive muscular engagement. And if you think about it, if you had to hold on to something for an extended period of time, you've got big muscle groups, engaged. The longer they have to hold that, the more tired that you are going to get. And so what we want to be able to do is let's think about, let's release some of that tension, some of that built up, and just work on keeping everything nice and free. And we do that through reduced breath management, reduced breath pressure with good breath management. And it comes back to this muscle coordination. So it's all about balance. I was talking with a student literally in my lesson before jumping on with you today, and we were talking about belt, we're talking about developing volume, but I was very quick to say over the next number of weeks, I didn't want her aiming or having mentally the fact that she was aiming for volume. I said, don't aim for volume, aim for balance. Because as you achieve balance with breath, resonance, with twang, and with good energy, but not high effort, then the volume is going to start to develop almost all on its own. Go for balance at a muscular level, and we'll start to get that volume. And that means that you are avoiding the push and the squeeze. Of course, part of this all has to be your ability to be aware of that push and squeeze, right? And so spending time with your instrument is so important in increasing your ability to manage the voice, to be aware, to know when, that's what it feels like if I am pushing too much, if I am driving the voice too much. And then also what you want to do as you become aware of where is my water level, if you will, where is my vocal stamina sitting, then go looking to slowly but surely increase your loads over time. And as you increase your loads, by virtue of being aware of what your voice is capable of, then as you increase your loads over time, so will your stamina improve and develop. And with that, so will your endurance. But please remember to rest and recover. It's a pretty well acknowledged thing within the science community around physical science that the body needs recovery time. It needs rest periods to allow the tissue and the muscle to recover in order to then get the true healthy gains from the workout. And so just make sure you are scheduling those rest days. I still advocate, and I think it's still advantageous to have definitely one, but optimally I think 2 days of vocal rest a week. And a really good way to think about that is to sing Monday, Tuesday, rest Wednesday, sing Thursday, Friday, rest Saturday or Sunday, whichever is going to work best for you. Just to have that downtime. I know that cuts across a lot of people's enthusiasm for what they're doing, but your voice will thank you if you can give it some downtime. It really, really will. And you'll gain more from the times when you are vocally working out your voice. It will perform better and you'll actually get further ahead in your development of stamina and endurance when you have the rest. Because you want to train smart for longevity. This is what it's got to be. You don't want to just be singing this Christmas, this festive season. You want to be able to sing for a lifetime. And the older you get, the easier it is to conceptualize that. But if you're a young person watching this, trust me, you want to be thinking further ahead than just your next gig. Start thinking about your voice as an instrument that needs to be maintained and healthy for your life. That's going to include you doing regular, consistent warm-ups. Many of us are good at warm-ups. Not so many of us are good at cool-downs. So ensure that you are, top and tailing your vocal workouts or your performances with both a warm-up and a cool-down. Bring your voice back to that nice, happy medium state where you've worked that built-up lactic acid out. Bring and help any retained fluid. Bring your voice back to a really nice neutral state with a good cool-down. Do yourself a favor this festive season. Try to set yourself the task of doing a cool-down after every performance. You will not regret it. I guarantee you. Your voice will benefit from that discipline. I want you to monitor for fatigue. That was almost hard to say. Monitor for fatigue. Monitor fatigue. I want you to, and this comes back to this vocal awareness, doesn't it? I want you to pay attention to the early signs. They're going to include things like raspiness, reduced range, effort, inaccuracy of pitch where that's normally not an issue, a change in your tonal qualities. Monitor your voice. Is your voice going okay? Be aware, and if your voice is starting to get into that zone of, I'm not sure it's okay, go looking for periods of rest. And I'll be bold enough to say that, let's say, again, coming back to this community caroling idea, which some of you may be participating in, as an example, let's say the group is going to be caroling for 4 nights. If you get to the end of the second night and you go, maybe you're not okay. If it is possible, maybe look to sit the third night of the 4 nights out. Or when you are participating in the third night, maybe mime some of the work, or just try to carry less load in the group. Do things that help to get you through. Please, over the Christmas period, I think what can happen is when we've got more performance load, there is understandably a sense in which we don't quite get to the technical workout. And so don't turn your technical attention off. Think about your posture, your alignment. Think about your resonance and the focus and your balance of tone. Think about continue to keep front and center all of the good technical habits that you have set up during the year with your technical workouts. Don't just throw those, caution to the wind and just enjoy yourself. I want you to enjoy yourself. But don't forget all of the technical aspects of your singing. And just as a way of approaching the next season, it's a really good opportunity for you to, and this is more about, actually, I guess, it's about monitoring and it's about awareness, but try to just continually track. This is partly the monitoring of fatigue, but track your progress as more so as the weeks can continue. How is your voice going in compared to previous years? Are you noticing some tiredness coming in? Or equally, is your voice far more buoyant this year due to the work that you've put in? Celebrate it if that is the case for you. And we want to look for that in how long can you sing, the tonal quality that is maintained, and the ease. There's something to be said for when we can sing and sing where it remains a pleasure for us physically. And I think when we are enjoying the physicality of our singing because it's not a strain, our audience can enjoy that so much more also. And finally, mind-body connection. I want you to hydrate. Yeah, we've got, I don't know how many videos I've got on hydration. There's a reason I've got multiple, is because it's important. Again, I was speaking to, in fact, I think it was the same student just before. I was speaking to her about the importance of her systemic hydration. So important. So too is sleep. You need to be getting good sleep. Let your body as a whole recover, and also, keep a check on your emotions. When we get tired, we get a bit short. Hello. Most of us are like the rest of us, so just keep a check on your emotions. And the festive season for many people, whilst it can be quite joyous, it can also carry a lot of stress, relationally for many. So try to keep a check on that. We do want you to come out the other end of the festive period, whole. That's what we want. Whole in person and whole in voice. And I hope going over that material today, and I knew today would be, I think that might have been one of the quickest the quickest webinars we've ever done, but I knew it was just going to be very much a revision for many of us, and certainly that's what I'm hoping it has been for you. Take these things on board. Pay attention to your voice over the Christmas period, and spend some time really caring for your voice, and you'll sound great. I'm looking here. We've got no questions. I do want to do a Q&A. I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the show, and I did not. I didn't mention that it would be a good Q&A. Throw your questions in before it would be worth me just letting you know. Let me throw this up. So as you can see, now Black Friday isn't until the end of this month, November. But I have already opened the Black Friday coupon for 2025. Now is the time to grab your 50% off anything and everything on the Voice Essentials site. So if you want to, you haven't participated, grab the online, just before I go, the Black Friday, when you do this, you need Black Friday 50. That's what you need to put in the coupon for the special if you want 50% off anything. So that's including the Pro, the Pro, what do I call it? Pro bundle. That's for just the seed, the exercise collections, anything. Maybe you've only ever enrolled in Voice Essentials 1 and you want to enroll in Voice Essentials 2 or 3. You can do that as well, 50% off. And that is going to run all the way through till the very end of Cyber Monday. And so check that out. It's running now. I hope you'll be able to take advantage of that. Okay. Now, Patricia has asked a question, and I'm glad she has, because otherwise we weren't. Oh, this is I think this is more a is this going to be more a I think this might be more of a comment. Let's see. Cool downs are hard to fit in. Yeah, Patricia, they are. I agree. The audience wants to chat after a gig, and you have to pack down all the sound gear, amps, mics, etc. into the car. When is it too late for a cool down to be an advantage? That's actually a really good question. You probably want to do a good cool down within 30 minutes of finishing, stepping off stage. I find that I like to apply the same rule to my warm-up. I like to have my warm-up within half an hour of stepping on, and I like to have my cool down within half an hour of stepping off. You can, I've got a dedicated cool down exercise collection video that you can use if you'd like, Patricia. It only takes just under 5 minutes, and it can be really, helpful to do that. Given that it is only 5 minutes, you probably can fit that in between stepping off stage and also, depending on your circumstance, and also then talking with people. Equally, I find myself doing my cool downs while I'm packing down, and bumping out my gear, and I'm doing that with lip bubbles, some sirens, some straw phonation perhaps. I also do quite a bit of nebulizing after a gig just to get some superficial hydration in there. And because it doesn't have to be something that I'm mentally attending to, like a vocal workout, a cool down just needs to be something that I'm activating my vocal folds so that I'm moving any retained fluid on. And so I really encourage you, go looking for a way to build it in. And I find even with vocal warm-ups, if we are able to just make it a part of how you do something, that is, it is the manner in which you do any gig, and that like your band members know that you're going to wander off, and and someone comes up and says, "Oh, where's Jenny?" and the band goes, "Oh, she's off doing a vocal warm-up." Then it just becomes a part of the normal. And that's what we want to do, is we want to get not only your vocal warm-ups to be a part of the normal, but your vocal cool-downs also. I saw this question. This is actually going back. This is from Mackenzie. It's good to see you in the chat, Mackenzie. Where can I find? I'm looking for the question you asked here. because it's a good one. Does hypermobility affect your range? I swear I just hit Mariah Carey's "It's Time" whistle note randomly. Mackenzie, yes, it certainly can. And in fact, quite a number of people with these incredibly extensive ranges have been shown to have hypermobility of their laryngae. Here's the other side to it, though, Mackenzie, Kate. It has also been shown that it can be a real challenge to exploit that hypermobility in as you chase, a really extensive range. It is not helpful for a hypermobile person to overdo that hypermobility of any joint. It can lead to some real physical challenges, including the larynx. So whilst on one level it's impressive that you could get up to that whistle note, that's cool, just be careful in your choosing to use that facility, because it can cause you, it could, I'm not saying it will, but it could cause you some challenges, and I'd want you to be aware of that before you start doing that. Patricia has asked another question here. Let me come up here. I think this is the question here from Patricia. I would like a discussion on how to attain whistle tone. Out of curiosity, do you need to be a soprano? Is it only soprano people can manage it? Is it dangerous? Patricia, good question. I'm happy to report I have a whole video on this. At this point in history, and to my most recent research into the topic, so notice I'm couching this in the fact that we could learn something different in the future. We may have already learnt it and I've not come across it. But to this point in history, my understanding of the research is that not every person on the planet can posture, it's a very unique posturing of the vocal folds to actually create whistle tone. And so it is important that you understand that. Now, so the next question is, well, how do you then know if you're one of the, and it is only, it's not a big percentage of the population that can do it. It's only, last time I looked, it was only around 15 to 20%. Like it's only 1 in 5 of us, let's say that. That's a very rough estimate. Well, you typically would find yourself as a person who plays with your voice and explores your voice, you probably would have found in the play that you could access it. And then what you have to do is then go looking for efficient ways to not only access it, but to then maintain the use of it. I have also heard it stated that even then we have to be careful in being sure that we don't then overuse whistle tone, simply because of the manner in which it does posture the vocal folds, and overuse of it could lead to some wear on the voice. Now, I don't think that I haven't read anything that suggests, it will develop nodules or anything like that. But equally, I think it is an extreme end of your vocal range, and it is activating. And so what happens is it activates a 2/3 oscillation of the vocal folds, and so there is a 1/3 part of the vocal fold that is not in adduction. And so we get this very distinct whistle tone, and so to your question, is it dangerous? I think it's certainly not dangerous for those who can access it, and they're accessing it well with balance, and and measured use. But I honestly think it could be dangerous if your body is not capable genetically of producing it. And therefore you could probably do yourself some disservice in trying to activate something that you physically cannot do. Be mindful of that. Be careful of what you find online about it. I have seen one video where the person was advocating for achieving it through the intake of air. That's not whistle tone. That's a disruption. That I think that could lead you to some. So get my point. Like, there's some stuff online that you could be like, probably be careful of that. I'm going to bookend all of that, Patricia, by saying once again, that is my current understanding. We continue to learn things about the voice and about how it works all the time. I am subscribed to the 2 leading journals on the planet, scientific journals, the Journal of Voice, the Journal of Singing, and I continue to read, I continue to learn, and my current understanding is what I've just outlaid to you. But we could learn. Let's be frank. Maybe we could learn. We could learn in the future that you do achieve it through inhaling air. I don't think so. I'm being facetious. I've just seen this comment here from Karen from Singwise, and I want to make a point. And this is the point I was making, Mackenzie. Hypermobility can present some challenges for singers because the larynx contains connective tissues, and that's the stuff that we want to be careful that we're not breaking down by overextending our joints. And thanks, Karen. That's really good comment and helpful. I am going to bring a close to our not our Q&A. Well, I'm about to bring that to a close, but I want to close the poll. You can all see the poll, everyone. And 3, 2, 1, here it comes. And I am pleased to report that the poll result. Oh, hang on, I didn't hit close. Now I'm hitting close. Okay, so I'm pleased to report that the poll still had a 0% in answer to the question, what's your secret weapon for lasting through a long singing session? 0%. No one of the 13 votes said belt it out till I drop. Thank goodness. You've all been listening. That's good. I'm so pleased. But here's, for those of you who can't see it and you're listening to this as a podcast, Hydration Nation was over 50%, 54%. So I'd suggest seven people voted for hydration. Power naps and lemon tea magic. Well, the power naps is a good thing. The lemon tea magic, not so much. It'll feel good, but it's not doing a lot for you. 23%. And the deep breaths and calm mind. Well, we talked about, that mental aspect of what we do, don't we? Body, mind. Was 23%. So probably 3 and 3. There you go. Another poll for you, Linda, for you to take note of. And so that'll be good. It has been a good hangout. I hope you've enjoyed it. Well, certainly, I'm always presumptuous, aren't I, when I say it's been a good hangout? It's always how it feels to me. I hope it's been a good hangout for you. Hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed today's hangout. Again, next week we're going to be getting together with Professor Brian. Honestly, we're so privileged that Brian puts aside, in his case, a Sunday night every year to hang out with us and have a chat. He's a great guy, but he's also one of the world's leading voice teachers. So, how privileged are we? He's become such a good friend of myself and the channel. So it'd be good to hang out with him. And then we'll hit the slippery slope into the 2 final shows of the year. I hope you've had a good time today. I hope you have had a great weekend. Who was it at the very beginning? Well, I think it was Mila who said. I saw Mila's comment about how crazy hot it is here in the moment. We're very humid. Do you know, over the weekend, about an hour west of where I am, they were getting hailstones up to 9 to 10 centimeters in diameter. Like, they were massive. You should see the damage that was done from the hailstones. You know, like, we're talking bigger than cricket balls, baseballs, probably as big as a softball. They were massive and so much damage. And a big part of it is the humidity that we've got here at the moment. Anyway, I hope wherever you are, you're safe, and you're healthy, and you're cool or warm, depending on which hemisphere you're in. I hope to see you again soon, when you'll hear me finish the show with, I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.